Nice day for it, isn't it? Be quiet, said Percy angrily. Then there was trouble. A coupling broke. Surprise, surprise! Catch us if you can! Oh, no! A sign read slow, steep bends and ravine ahead, but the silly cars never saw it.
Meanwhile, Skarloey was making his way up to the quarry. Then he saw Boulder. Yikes!
Excuse me, Mr. Oliver. It seems to me that things are not well with you, if you forgive me for mentioning it. As he sped along, he suddenly saw a large hole in the road. He braked hard, but it was too late. Bother! 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 Thomas had never seen Sir Topham Hatt in such a mess. Can I help you, sir? My favorite station is Farquhar, said Thomas. Mine is Maithwaite, said Toby. Percy, what's yours? Percy was too tired to think properly. The docks, he murmured. Ha, sniffed Thomas, we can tell. Toby laughed. The docks are full of fish, not flowers. All right, then, Arsdale End. That's my home. That's why I like it, especially when you're there and not here saying I'm silly. Good night. Why are you complaining all the time? Because I'm a big blue engine and I know everything. I shall complain whenever I want. You're just a small red engine with ideas above your station. I can't see any, said Percy. Where are they? Any what? Ideas above the station. The sky's empty. Like your smoke box, Percy. All the engines were hard at work, except Percy. Come on, Percy. This is no time to have a rest. I'm stuck, moaned Percy, and my funnel's freezing up. Driver's gone for... Ha! Huffed Thomas. Stupid bird. Owls, mists, ghosts. Edward's going soft at the boiler. There's no mist. But Henry was wrong. The driver was surprised. No one warned us about that before. And look, the signal's red. And the gates are closed. And there's a fogman's coat. You were very brave, Toby. Thanks to Harold. I could never have been so brave, Toby. Oh, I'm sure you would be, but you never know till you've tried. Percy rather hoped he'd never have to. Time for a snooze. The work took a long time. The fishermen were using old equipment, and Thomas was worried. I'm going to be late for Henry at the docks. He won't like this. Please hurry up. Thomas was rudely interrupted. Pah! You're late, and that smell is making me ill. It's the fish, replied Thomas, and there's danger on the rails. That's why we're late. Ha! You're the only danger on the rails, Thomas. Now stop wasting time and get your cars hitched to my train. I'm always going backwards, Mr. Oliver. I have forward-thinking views. I could be a leader, if you know what I mean. You can't be a leader without a train to follow. You don't have a train. What's the matter, Percy? Asked Bertie. Nothing exciting ever happens. That's the matter, sighed Percy. It's just coal, 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 and cars, cars, cars. I'm bored, bored, bored. Excitement is surprising, observed Bertie. You never know when it'll happen. Otherwise, it wouldn't be exciting. Toodle peep. It would be surprising if something surprising happened. Come on, come on! Push those freight cars closer to me! But Percy was too upset to concentrate and pushed the freight cars too far. Poor Percy. You look glum, little Percy. Sir Topham Hatt told Driver that he's using Harold to show a visitor the island instead of using any of us engines. Despicable, said Gordon. Disgusting, snorted Henry. Engines are meant to take visitors around our island, not that
whirlybird
thing, James exclaimed. Gordon was the first to see Harold. Harold thinks he can go faster than me. I'll show him. Next, it was Henry's turn. Sir Topham Hatt has chosen Harold because he thinks he's more important than me. Well, he's not. Harold can't fly through tunnels. Harold wants to get rid of us, said Gordon. He doesn't need tunnels, added Henry. Don't worry, he's just counting sheep, said Percy. Counting sheep? Paw, snorted Gordon. He's counting how many engines he can get rid of. He'll see how useful I am tomorrow. Help me, please.
Help! Called the engines from inside the shed. I can't, called Cranky pathetically.
Oh, thank you, said Gordon. What would I have done without you? Well, I had to be rescued before I could help you. But I never thought it would be by a couple of Cranky was about to say bugs, but he quickly corrected himself. Small engines, thank you. I'll never be rude again. However, you two mites are in my way, so move over. Pa, said Percy, he's back to bugging us. Don't move! You're still attached to Cranky! But it was too late. One morning, Percy was late. Cranky the Crane was quick to criticize. These ships can't be kept waiting. They have important cargo. If they miss the tides, they will be delayed in the docks. You should look up to the ships and show more respect. We've got too much work, huffed Percy. Then perhaps a lorry should do your job. Percy was shocked. Stuff and nonsense, snorted James. We engines run this island, said Henry. What if a lorry does arrive? I'm afraid it did, along with two more. Hey, you down there! Your job's done now! These lorries are taking over! One of them wants to talk to you! The lorry was very rude. What's that steaming lump of scrap iron doing here? Be off with you! Scrap iron? Steaming scrap iron? Oh, look, it's a little green goblin on wheels. You'll be scrapped. Just you wait and see. Well, well, well. No wonder this railway's a mess. You belong in a museum, not working in a quarry. I might look old, but I'm very useful. Useful? Pah! Replied the lorry. Just you tootle off. Tootle? Spluttered Toby. What are you doing here? We three are doing your work now. You're too slow. When Toby arrived, he saw the lorry from the quarry again. It was loaded with rock. That lorry's in trouble, thought Toby. And he was. The driver was thrown clear. Rotten roads. Percy looked at the lorry. What's this lump of steaming scrap iron? He teased. I'll be back, replied the lorry. Then James whistled excitedly. They're bringing in the third lorry on a barge. What happened to that one? James asked. Stupid lorry was reversing and fell straight into the sea, said the tow truck man. Later, Thomas arrived. He looked at the three lorries and laughed. Well, 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 the Brothers Grimm. Smashed, broken, and sunk. I deserve a new coat of paint. Sir Topham Hatt says I'm the pride of the line, and— Rubbish, huffed Henry. We're all the pride of the line. It's been like this all day, confided Percy to Thomas. James is getting a new coat of paint and won't stop boasting about it. Why, James? I'm the one who needs a new coat. Look at me. I'd rather not, retorted James. You're not a pleasant sight, and wouldn't understand the needs of a really important engine. Thomas was fuming. Next morning, as James was being repainted, Henry had an accident. If you can't push cars properly, Henry, why not talk to a tree instead? You know how much you like the forest. They reached a siding, and his driver gave the alarm. It's fuel, and it's dangerous. You said the countryside got you all fired up, James, but I didn't think you meant it in this way. Percy, green and small, he's no use to us at all. Around the yards he'll puff and blow, but on the hills he's oh so slow. Be quiet. You're much too small to pull all of us. We want another engine or we'll be struggling up the hill all night. All night, all right, you can puff and blow, but on that hill you're still too slow. Slow yourself, stuttered Percy. Temper, temper, giggled the cars. When they were nearly at the top, they played their tricks. Ready, steady, go! And they jerked at a coupling which broke. We're making your wish come true, Toad! Follow the leader, yelled the freight cars. Toad was still in a state of shock, so he didn't know what to think, and he couldn't ask the conductor. He had jumped clear. Faster, faster, as fast as you want, screamed the freight cars. Suddenly, Toad found it fun, but the fun was soon over. A crossing lay ahead and the gates were closed. Toad couldn't stop. Worse still, Toad now realized he was on the wrong track. There ahead was Gordon. The signalman changed the points just in time. Suddenly, he saw James pulling a long, slow train. Oh my goodness! Help! Save me! A quick-thinking shunter did, just in time. What was that? Toad sped past Henry. More danger lay ahead. Men were working on a bridge, but they had been warned about the runaway Toad and his freight cars. They diverted him onto old sidings, straight into a muddy pool. Stopped at last. Oliver arrived, and when he saw Toad, he could only smile. A pond is the only place for a toad, I suppose. The freight cars were still joking. Too slow! More power! Here all night. Tomorrow, too. Better a smash than a squash. You will work in the yards until I can trust you again. Duncan was delighted with Peter Sam's dilemma. Fancy not securing your freight cars on a hill. They'll come back to spook you and your special funnel. Woo! And who's to say you're not afraid of ghosts? Snapped Rusty. Ghosts? Things that go bump in the night? Rubbish! Well, I'll tell you a story that will make your funnel quiver.
Rusty said, a long time ago, a little engine was returning home. Engine lost control and plunged over the side. Many a workman will tell you that when the moon is full, they have seen the little engine trying to get home.
So what do you think of that, Duncan? Rubbish! Haunted bridge. Rubbish, snorted Duncan. It's as tame as a pet rabbit. But all the same, he kept thinking about Rusty's story. When dusk fell, he was keen to leave. If we don't go now, Scar Loey will take my favorite place in the sheds.
No.
It's the ghost! Take me back! Take me back, please! When Duncan reached the safety of his shed, he closed his eyes tightly. Spooked, are you, Duncan? Laughed his driver.
No, I'm asleep.
Beware of the ghost, Toby, Thomas said. What ghost? The old warrior ghost. Every night he lights his fire, then goes hunting. Toot toot! Goodbye. Later, he stopped by the water tower for a drink. Hello, Percy. How are things? Boring. Well, why not have a few fast spins on the turntable? You'll like that, said Toby. I think it'd just make me giddy. We can't get into the waiting room, the passengers cried. Why not? Asked the station master. The ram won't let us. Everyone looked at the ram, and the ram looked at them. Just then he heard Caroline. I have to attend my wife's birthday party and I cannot be late. Please give me a lift. I'll try, sir. But Caroline didn't like going fast. I'm hot. My engine will overheat. And it did. Told you so, said Caroline sadly. Then he heard a loud whistle. It was George the steamroller. George was cross when he saw Caroline. Call yourself a car? You're a disgrace to the road. Find yourself a scrapyard. And they rumbled away. What about me? Wailed Caroline. I'll send for help, called Sir Topham Hatt. Stay there. That's all I can do. George was blocking his way, and a car was stuck on the main line. "Let me through," demanded Duck. "You'll just have to wait," replied George. "There's no time to wait. I must clear my freight cars from the main line to let Gordon through." "Then he'll have to wait too." Suddenly, he saw a freight car on the line ahead. "Get out of my way!" But the freight car wouldn't move until Gordon forced it by accident. "Now we'll get some peace at last," said Percy. "I want to get rolling again, but I've got to wait a whole week till I do. And then you'll be just as rude as ever. Eh, George?" But when nightfall came, he was sizzling nicely. Suddenly, an owl hooted, and then Gordon thundered by. "Oh, look, Henry's spooked," said a freight car. "That's my line of cars," huffed Bill. "It's not. It's mine," snorted Ben. "Yours is over there. It's mine. It's not. It's mine. It's not." "Stop quarreling, you two, or the only thing you'll have left to share is trouble." "Silly," snapped Bill. "Silly yourself." "Sorry," said the Diesel. "I'm all hot and bothered. I've got teething troubles, you know." The news soon spread. "Apparently it's teething troubles," confided Thomas to Percy. "Hey, you two, this new Diesel's got a toothache. Good luck." "Why does Percy want to wish us good luck?" "Because he knows we'll need it. A Diesel with a toothache must be the worst Diesel of all." "This is the life, isn't it, my dear?" "The old warrior wants to meet you," laughed his fireman. "Can't it wait till morning?"
"Ghosts don't work day shifts,"
said his driver. "Engines don't swim, Henry. You were meant to deliver fish, not swim with them. You should know that by now." "Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir." When Henry arrived at the docks, Cranky the Crane looked down on him. My, Henry, I expect you'll have some fishy tales to tell. But take my advice, have a long hose down first." But there was worse to come. "Look, they've caught all this fish and a green whale, too." "It's not a whale, it's a monster." Henry was most upset. As Percy was shunting some freight cars into a siding, he heard a voice. "Hello, Percy." There was Old Slow Coach, who he and Thomas had rescued from scrap. "You're it," squeaked Percy. "I'm what it?" But Lady Hat was feeling hot and tired. She took her troubles out on Annie and Clarabelle. "Those coaches are old and uncomfortable. Why don't you use them as beach huts instead?" There was Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle, who were looking as smart as their new paint, inside and out. "My!" exclaimed Lady Hat. "What splendid coaches! So much more suitable than those old beach huts on wheels." No one said a word. They were just about to board Harold when it happened. "What was that?" "You're no good, Oliver. You're dangerous. We want Percy. Percy's far too busy to be bothered with the likes of you." "I love weddings," sighed Percy that night. "Did you enjoy your kiss?" "Here it is. And I'll eat my hat if you don't like it." Then Harold landed. The wind from his blades blew Sir Topham Hatt's hat off. Bah! "Well, seems I wouldn't be able to eat my hat even if I had to." Everyone laughed, and the only sound from the ram was a contented hiccup. "Bumpy ride on rotten rails. I'm glad it's over."
He didn't stop until he jumped straight into Thomas's cab.
Abelfoff. By the time he arrived at the yards, the weather had changed for the worse. Your color's nice, James. Pity about your face, though.